Poised for Exit is a show for business owners who want to achieve a successful exit based on their own terms. Your business exit will likely be the biggest financial transaction of your life, and for most, you'll have one shot at doing it right. The topics and guests we feature and the stories they share will provide valuable ideas and strategies to improve operations and grow enterprise value so you can achieve the best possible exit outcome. Now here's your host, award-winning certified exit planning advisor, Julie Keys.
Welcome everyone to the Poised for Exit podcast show. Our guest today has been a long-time wealth management advisor for high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals, families, and business owners with expertise in estate and tax. He's recently launched a new collaborative advisory firm in the Los Angeles area that truly exemplifies professional collaboration. We're going to hear about his impressive success right after these messages.
This is Andy Kosamba, president of Calhoun Companies. We understand that selling your business is a big deal. Since 1908, Calhoun Companies has been confidently connecting buyers and sellers. From small family shops to large corporations, our expert brokers walk with you and guide you every step of the way, whether you're looking to retire or simply for a fresh start. If you're curious what your business could sell for, or if you're ready to start the process, head to calhouncompanies.com for a free and confidential consultation. Calhoun Companies, the confident choice for buyers and sellers.
My name is Todd Grau, and I'm the president of the Twin Cities Exit Planning Chapter. If you're a business owner and advisor and want to learn more about the world of exit planning, you're invited to visit the Twin Cities chapter of the Exit Planning Institute. You can expect top-level education delivered by subject matter experts at every monthly meeting. Grow your network and draw from the learning that could be a game changer for your business or your practice. There's no pressure to become a member, so come and see what the buzz is all about. Our meetings are held the second Wednesday of the month, 7:30 to 9 a.m. See the show notes for more information and registration links.
Exiting your business is a big deal, both financially and emotionally. I'm John Marquet, Certified Exit Planning Advisor with TrustPoint. We help business owners transition smoothly on their terms. Our focus is on maximizing value, minimizing stress, and giving you confidence in what's next. Whether you're selling or passing the torch, we make the process seamless. Start planning today at trustpointinc.com. That's trustpointinc.com.
Thinking about selling your business in the next few years? Don't wait to start planning. I've seen too many business owners wait too long and regret it. Freedom Financial Partners are financial advisors who specialize in exit planning for business owners, helping you reduce tax surprises, protect what you've built, and quantify how much you need from the sale. Their proven process helps you think beyond your business so you can move forward with clarity and confidence. The longer you wait, the fewer options you may have. Download your free financial readiness assessment today at ffpforme.com/exit. That's ffpforme.com/exit. Hello, Poised for Exit listeners. We're here today with Michael Winn, who is the co-founder and partner with Chartered Wealth Partners in Beverly Hills. Mike, welcome to the Poised for Exit show.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So glad that I could finally get my friend on the show.
Thanks for having me this morning.
I'm so excited about your endeavor. There's so much that we need to cover today, and we're just going to start, like I always do with all of my guests, about your journey. So you have a ton of expertise, and like I said in the beginning of the show when I opened it, you work with a lot of high net worth and ultra high net worth owners and individuals and families, and you've got this expertise in estate and tax, but it didn't come overnight. And you probably didn't have a straight line in where you got right now with this new firm that you've launched. And so, which isn't really that new, but it is to me. We'll talk about that, but we'll do that later. But let's just talk about your journey. Like, you're not just a financial advisor or a wealth manager, you're also an entrepreneur.
Correct. Everybody has interesting journeys, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a long story, but the shorter version is I started on Wall Street. I was an estate planning consultant. So I went to wealth advisors telling them that a lot of consumers think you're a commodity, that you're managing capital, but if you incorporate estate planning into the process, it'll differentiate you from the crowd. And estate planning is so important. The thing I saw is that a lot of wealthy business owners, high net worth individuals have a hard time getting their planning done because lawyers can make it difficult billing by the hour, and some clients just feel very uncomfortable with that kind of structure. So I developed this unique process, I believe, where I sat between the client and the attorney, functioning as a financial architect.
Mm.
taken the client through a discovery process, very deep, came up with a scope of work to show them the beginning, middle, and end of the process, and provided a visual aid as how to address potential state taxes now and in the future. And I charged a flat fee, which was very transparent. And then I had the lawyers come in at the end of the process, not the beginning, and I'd have them charge a flat fee as well. And so I was able to get 20 to 30 or more plans done a year. But what I noticed 6, 7 years ago is a lot of the clients I was meeting were business owners, wanted to exit, but didn't know how, who to trust. It was kind of a daunting thing to think about. So I
Hmm.
shifted my model a little bit to pre-event planning, where I would help the owner put together the core team of advisors, and I would function as their advocate, their guide, really spending time educating the business owner on the whole landscape of exiting a business, which is, again, daunting. And then I would bring in the core team. I do a lot of work with accounting firms, and I've found in the last, I don't know, 4 to 5, 6 years, because of so many tax law changes, a lot of accountants are a little bit behind, very reactive, and very lack of creativity in the process. So my new firm is backed by a really, really smart, creative tax firm that looks out 6 to 8 months, sometimes a year. We try to mitigate income tax during the year for our clients with a proper structure, but more importantly, how do we make sure their entities are structured correctly for the most tax efficient exit in the future? So that's really what evolved into what I'm doing now.
Wow, that's fantastic. And obviously, you are a champion for entrepreneurs, right?
Definitely.
And yeah, and you are not new to the whole exit planning conversation, obviously, because you just explained your whole process and how you got to where you are. However, you are a relatively new SEPA. And so that's kind of helped with a little bit of framework. But I love the fact that you've already got this whole professional collaboration, like intentional collaboration, right? So not just like, yeah, we'll work with each other when we've got a client that we can mutually share and help and advise, right? No, you're actually doing it like as a process.
Yes, and I think you're right. It formalized everything I was doing. And I
Yeah.
think I learned through that SEPA process a lot of statistics I was unaware of in the past, which were a little bit surprising to me. And it gives it a better framework. Again, business owners are very busy people. And when they hear statistics like failure rates at the initial exit and how many owners are unhappy post-sale because they weren't really thinking about the next second act, and how can we look inside their business and make sure it's really performing at the highest level. I was already doing pre-event planning, but the SEPA process really has helped me, and I've met some very strong partners along the way, and I couldn't be more excited about going through the SEPA process last year.
Yeah. Well, and the people that you've assembled, all those subject matter experts that can help advise the business owner along the way, right? That complements the work that you do and the respect, the mutual respect that you all have for the roles that you have at the table. There's no competition in terms of who starts with the client. It's like, let's just do the best job that we can possibly do for the client. So seeing that, knowing that, hearing about it from you for the last couple of years, I'd just like to maybe talk a little bit about some of the client situations because you've shared so many stories with me, Mike, and they're all amazing. I mean, you really made an impact on so many of your clients, but maybe there's one or two that kind of stand out that you could share with our listeners.
Sure. I mean, I think there's unlucky like you are, Julie. We get to talk to founders, entrepreneurs every week for the most part, and they're all very intelligent, smart people because starting a business is not easy. But I have one now that I'm working on. It's the fastest growing brewery in the U.S. out here in Los Angeles, and they got approached a couple of years ago going into an airport locally here and reluctantly went in. But of course, airports have common problems. They have poor food, poor service, but they have a lot of people that are in these airports. And
Yeah.
so this particular group has great food, great service, and just got the #1 IPA in the world. So they've got everything kind of under one roof. So this client came to me. He had a CPA for 23 years. I had my tax guys sign NDAs. They sent over his last 2 years' tax returns, personal and business, and they found 11 mistakes, some very dramatic. Well, there were some mistakes that were a little shocking, and we were able to upgrade a lot of what he's doing. One of them was research and development credits, which he's CPA never told him about. He was able to go back 3 years and capture several million in credits that were unused, so he won't pay
Wow.
tax for 3 or 4 years. So we upgraded his CPA. I happen to know a lawyer that did the largest beverage deal in the U.S. I brought him in. He just got hired to help on being a kind of a general counsel for the company. And then obviously when we go to expansion, he'll be there to help. And I brought in an investment banker that has a lot of experience in food and beverage and other people that I can bring to the table. And what I told this client when I met him is if you're building a dream house, which he happens to be doing out in Utah, I said, the first thing you start with is your architect. And then you bring in a general contractor to kind of manage all the subs. And so they come in at the right time, the right sequence, so the job gets done correctly and timely. And so I told him, I'm a quarterback wealth advisor. So view me as that kind of architect at the beginning. And then I will bring in kind of a CPA and an attorney at the right time and sequence. And I bring in these subcontractors along the way. So I don't like to waste owners' time so they can run their business, but they really use me as an advocate and a guide along the way. And so this particular client opened up 2 locations as airport, and they did extremely well. So now the CEO of that airport went to a conference 3 months ago and talked about this company, and now all the airports are calling. So I'm orchestrating an expansion east for this client, and we'll probably be in 20 to 30 airports over the next 2 to 3 years. One of my private equity clients owns a bunch of food and beverage companies, so they've come in to help us orchestrate this expansion. And so I'm expecting a really successful exit for this client who has a design firm for 30 years, which will sell after. But it's just been an amazing experience getting to know this client and helping him, and he really values the people
Yeah.
I'm bringing to the table for him.
Yeah. High quality people know high quality people.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I love the analogy between the architect and the quarterback because that really is, and the GC too, right? So architect and GC a little bit when you talk about quarterback for an exit planning process. Let's talk about Chartered Wealth Partners, this firm that you helped to launch that's already so wildly successful. Your services, your specialties, we talked a little bit about ideal client, but let's talk more about that.
Sure.
Your plans for growth, things like that.
Yeah, so there's, just to give you a little Wall Street information, which is always kind of interesting,
Hmm.
pre-COVID, there was 175,000 wealth advisors on Wall Street banks, corporate America. If you fast forward to now, it's down to about 70,000. So we've had a migration out of corporate America to independence. So now there's over 17,000 what we call registered investment advisory firms. So these are private firms that are, managing capital for clients. So if you and I, Julie, decided to open up a firm in downtown Minnesota, we'd have to file with the SEC, get registered,
Hmm.
you manage capital for clients. But what's unique about our firm is we're backed by a tax firm that
Yes.
provides creative tax planning, research and development credits, cost segregation, bill pay, financial statements, all under one roof. It's kind of a virtual family office for clients. The old family offices from years ago were billion-dollar families, and now people can come down as low as 25 million and or even a little lower and get some of the a la carte services that you can use within family office and not have brick and mortar internal employees. So we're doing a lot of work. So we have a tax firm, and the impact of that is dramatic because all of our clients, if they're going to sell externally, would like to sell at maximum value for the lowest tax and have a great experience along the way. So we have the backbone of a high level, very experienced tax firm that came from PricewaterhouseCoopers and founded this firm 25 years ago. And it's all predominantly closely held business owners, entrepreneurs, and real estate owners. So that's really unique. I
Tell
bring
me.
in most of the business owners to the firm along with the accounting firm, but we needed a couple people to run our platform. So we have Drew Chan, who resigned from a firm in Orange County called First Foundation. He was running a $6 billion firm as CIO, COO. He's running the platform with another gentleman that's joining us next month that's coming from a $15 billion firm. These two gentlemen are very experienced CFAs, chartered financial analysts. So we're going to run a custom platform with 5 different custodians, including like Charles Schwab and Fidelity and all the big names. So it'll be multi-custodial. One of the issues in the industry is technology because it was very archaic. But we just engaged with a firm called Ridgeline. It was founded by David Duffeld, who founded Workday and PeopleSoft. So it's a really high level AI-based cutting edge tech platform that's going to run this for our clients. We're going to have a lot of privates and alternatives that are very difficult to get into that we'll bring to bear for our clients. It'll be very custom. And, we're dealing with owners of companies that have been running a business 10, 20, 30 years, taking income from their business. But through the owner readiness side of SEPA, we're going to run our clients through cash flow modeling. We do that all the time to make sure that when they sell, they're going to have the appropriate income to provide a very comfortable life. And we're going to be dealing with their kids and with their philanthropy and all the things that go around a family enterprise post-sale.
And then whatever they're going to do afterwards, right? Aside from philanthropy, maybe they've got their sights on doing some other things, and you'll be able to help them figure that out because you're a SEPA.
Yeah, it's interesting. I learned through SEPA that there's kind of 3 buckets. Some owners go buy another company. That's happening with a lot of the younger clients. Some go into philanthropy and others completely retire. And those are the ones you have to spend a lot of time making sure they have fulfillment post-sale because they're going to have some loss of identity. How are they going to replace the adrenaline of their business? If they're going to tell me they're going to go hang out with their grandkids 3 days a week and go to Starbucks with their wife, they might be a little unhappy after a year. So we got to make sure that that's really good that they're doing, but you want to make sure you have like a kind of a game plan of what life's going to look like after you sell your business.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think even after a month or 2 of that, they'd be like, all right, there's got to be more to it than this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
when you think about the mindset of an entrepreneur, someone who's been successful and growing and innovative their entire life, you don't just turn that off like a faucet when you sell your company. So what are you going to do with that energy and all that you've learned, right?
Yeah, you've got your employees that are your friends. You have maybe conferences you go to. You have your customers you're talking to. All of a sudden, you unplug and it's gone. So it's an overlooked area, and that's why 75% of business owners after 1 year are unhappy. That's a very significant number. And actually, the brewery clients in a YPO forum, he told me that 4 of the 12 members have sold and 3 look not too happy right now. So I spent a lot of time on that owner readiness to prepare them for that because it's overlooked. I think I read the main reason that the initial exits fail is from cold feet from the seller. They get to the altar and they're like, oh no, I didn't think about. So we really spend time making sure that they know what's going to happen post sale, and that's going to be a fluid thing that'll evolve. But document what you're thinking about doing, and then have a game plan. And I know clients that have actually done that, and they're actually very happy.
Yes. Yeah. And it really does, like, it should be the best act of your life, right? And so, but having a plan to go into it, both feet and feel like you've got something to really look forward to. That's what it's all about, I think.
Yeah, we have some colleagues in SEPA that all they focus on is that particular area, and I bring them in when it's appropriate to help clients. It's really good information that they've never heard before.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. All right. So as an exit planning quarterback, you probably have a few tips that you could share with our listeners. We have a lot of business owners from across the country that listen to this show, and they love it when advisors like you with the expertise you have can just share a few things because we're still relatively early in the new year, 2026. I try not to name that too much in this show, but since we're in January, it makes sense to do so. So what are some of the things that you might share, like maybe you were sharing with your clients? What would you say to our listeners right now?
I would say be prepared. 90 to even higher percent of owners are just not prepared because they're really busy. So I think you got to go out and find an advocate, a guide that you need to educate yourself on the market. Let someone explain to you the landscape of options. Give you information so you can make the right decisions. Make sure you spend time on making sure we call it owner readiness. Make sure that you're properly ready. De-risk your estate. Make sure estate planning is done. That's my core competency from 25 years of estate planning, and that's the core of everything. Make sure that is addressed because I hate to say it, I can only count on one hand a client I met in my career that I actually looked at him and said, "Your planning is done really well." It's rare.
Really?
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
the beginning of this call. It's about nothing against lawyers because their need is that they're not going to sit at a kitchen table for 3 hours with which I do sometimes, and just talk about soft issues and like in-laws and all the
Mm,
things that are important because some lawyers are very kind of specific. If you looked at all their clients' estates plan, they look similar. It's the opposite. It's very custom. And
mm.
so start with estate planning. Make sure you have a really good tax advisor. I can't talk more about that because I unfortunately, if I had 100 clients and I asked them, rate your CPA on a scale of A to F, I haven't got an A in 10 years.
Mm.
And I get a lot of C's and D's. And I ask clients, why haven't you done anything about it? I don't even know where to go. I'm too busy. So
Yeah.
I get involved with
Yeah.
replacing and bringing in the right. Leaving your CPA is like a divorce, and I know that. But
Yeah.
when you're talking about real dollars here, and if we
Right.
demonstrate you missed all these things that you could have done, which are using golf right down the fairway, some of the stuff that you should
Right.
CPAs, it's an industry that's changing. So find an advocate and a guide, get educated, get your plan done, get in your really good CPA is really, really key. I think those planning tax person and a guide and with my advice, there's a lot of information out there. Just get someone to explain it to you in layman terms. If you're a business owner listening, you're smart. Starting a business is not easy. So you already have the acumen, you're intelligent, you're willing to take some risks to start a business. But step back a little bit and spend a little time educating yourself so you can make really, really good decisions.
And that's really what it's about, right? And that's
Yeah.
our role as advisors to business owners is just to help them learn maybe some things that they didn't know before so that they can, elevate the decision-making process.
Yeah.
Love it. So, well, it's been great having you on the show. I really appreciate it, Mike. And I'm so happy for you and your success. And the team of subject matter experts that you have assembled is, like I said before, it's really the epitome of what exit planning is all about. Because as we say, there's never one single advisor that ever has all the answers, but collectively, I think we get pretty dang close,
Yeah,
right?
I think you need to, the old saying, stay in your lane. I mean, I
Mm,
don't know everything and neither do you. So we try to,
yeah.
if there's an area that we want to bring in an expert with a couple decades of experience, I've found some really good people out there that can come in and provide advice that our clients really need to be successful.
And then we all work together. The client wins, we win, everybody wins, including the economy, because the exits are successful, right?
Yeah, and then my last name is Winn, so that doesn't hurt either.
Amen to that. That's awesome. Yes, it is. And we will have contact information for you in the show notes, of course, for all of our subscribers, and then as well as on our website, in our social media, so that people can contact you and find you at Chartered Wealth Partners. So thanks again for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Julie, thanks for having me and have a great week.
Yeah, thanks, you too. And thanks to all of our listeners from across the US and around the globe. You make this show possible, and we are grateful for you. So please join us again next time, and please share the episode.